put it on the cloud. So chapter 11 is about trading strategies. So the first trading strategy that we are going to discuss some 13 or 14 trading strategies, 15 trading strategies in total. So I have made an Excel sheet which discusses them in brief, and then we are going to look at Tesla for examples. Okay. So the first trading strategy is principal protected note. So what is principal protected note? How is it created? In this strategy, you buy a bond with maturity of principal and you buy a call option, right, on an index or a stock portfolio. So I'll this is very famous, like banks sell it all the time. So major banks like RBC and TD and all those, like even American banks like, let's say, Morgan Stanley or JP Morgan or even Wells Fargo sell this instrument a lot. So it is called as principal protected note. So what does it do? So how do they create it? They buy a bond with face value, that is maturity value, that of principal. Okay. And they buy a call option on mostly stock index. So let's say SAP 500, Standards and Poor 500. So for an investor, how does that work? So let's say I'm giving $10,000 to a bank. I'm buying a principal protected note of $10,000. So what will happen to me? So I will always get $10,000 back. So my principal is protected. So let's say it's a 3-year note. So my principal of $10,000 is always protected, because what does the bank do? It takes my money and buys a bond that pays $10,000 after 3 years. So my principal is always protected. Plus, I get some returns on SAP 500. So if SAP 500 goes up, I make some money. If it goes down, I lose money. I don't lose money because my principal is protected. But if it goes up, I make money. So how does the profit and loss chart work? So loss is zero. You never lose money on a principal protected note. Okay. And profits are index returns. Profits are index returns. So you don't lose money, but you may make index returns on a principal protected note. Now, how does the bank design it? This is for investor. So investor will never lose money, plus he gets stock market returns, right? There are few caps that are put in place so that the bank actually makes money, but for investor, no possibility of a loss. Now, how does the bank design it? So investor is paying $10,000. So bank will discount it. So exponential discount it. Let's say risk-free rate is 3% and the maturity is 3 years. So bank will discount this note. Bank will discount this note for 3 years. So it will buy bonds worth 9139, and the difference between the two it will use to buy call options. Okay, difference between the two it will use to buy call options. So how does the bank create this note? First, it will take $10,000 principal from the investor, discount that principal, right? And whatever is the discounted value, it will buy bonds worth of that. And the difference between discounted value and the investor amount, it will buy call options. So what is basically happening? This is at start. On maturity, This bond will pay you 10,000. So bank gets $10,000 from this bond, and call option pays if market goes up, or they go to zero if market stays the same or goes down. So effectively, investor doesn't lose any money, but he also gets exposure to market. Okay. So this is principal protected note. How is it created? They buy bonds with maturity of principal, and they buy call options on index or stocks. Profit, if the index goes up, call options become profitable and you get money from the principal protected note. Loss is zero because principal is always protected. Risk in this instrument is bank defaulting. Like a lot of people bought principal protected note from Lehman Brothers, but they defaulted in 2008. So if the bank defaults, this principal protected note goes to zero. And there is also a chance that bonds will default, but it is unlikely because they generally invest in government bonds. So government of Canada or government of America bonds, Federal Reserve bonds. So the chance of defaulting there is quite low. So this is principal protected note. Caveats to this instrument: banks may limit the returns, they will cap it, which it generally does. So let's say principal protected notes are capped at 15%. So if the index makes more than 15%, the banks gets all the profit. You don't get the profit. You get only 15%. Maximum is 15%. Okay, so the first trading strategy is principal protected note.
So the downside will be borne by the bank?
No one bones the downside. What is the downside? Because bonds will always mature at principal. So no one is losing any money.
Okay.
This instrument doesn't have a downside. Downside is banks or bonds defaulting. Okay. Next one is covered call. We are going to discuss first covered call writing and then covered call buying. So how is a covered call created? Covered call is created by writing a call option and buying the stock. Writing the call option and buying the stock. What happens in a covered call? Profit if the stock market remains same. So profit happens if the stock is remaining stable, it's not moving much. Loss happens when there is massive movement up or down. Okay. But loss is, yeah, massive movement up or down. Loss is not limited. So covered call writing, how do you create it? Write a call option, buy the stock. Profit happens if the stock remains same. Loss happens if there is massive movement up or down. So let's create a covered call on Tesla. Okay, so I'm opening option charts of Tesla. So stock price is 429. So let's say 430. So Tesla's stock price is 430. Tesla's stock price is 430. So we'll buy the stock. So we buy it and we write a call. We generally write at the money call. So somewhere close to 430. So 430 is at the money. So we'll write this call. So this call is traded at $9. This, let's say 10. So we'll write a call of $10. Okay. So at start, we buy the stock. So minus 430 because money is going out of the pocket. We write an option. So we get $10. So at the start of this position, we pay $420. Okay. Now possibilities. Stock stays same. Stock doesn't change. So if it stays same, you'll get $430 from the stock. Okay. And this option, writing option, becomes 0, because if the stock stays same, writers don't have to pay any money. So it remains same. Sorry, it remains 0. No payouts from writers. So what will happen? You will make $10. Profit is $10. If stock remains same, all the premium that you pocketed, you get it. Now, if stock goes up, if let's say stock goes to 450, okay, writer of call has to pay money. Writer of call has to pay money, right, when stock goes up. So how much does he have to pay? Stock price minus exercise price. Stock price minus exercise price, and he has to pay that. So I'm putting a negative sign. So $20 writer has to pay. Okay. So how much is the money? 430 is the outflow. Sorry, inflow. So you still make $10. Right? What happens if stock goes down? So let's say the stock goes to 400. Okay. Writer doesn't pay anything. Writer only pays when stock goes up. You're writing a call option. So you will only pay when the stock goes up. So how much loss did you make? Stock was at 430. You got back 400. So total loss you made was 30, plus you pocketed 10. So loss is $10. Sorry, loss is $20. So if stock goes down, you lose money. If stock goes up, you make money, but only to the extent of premium, right? If the stock remains same, you make money to the extent of premium. So your maximum profit is capped at $10. Your maximum loss can be anything. If this stock goes to 350, you lose more money. If this stock goes to let's say 300, you lose even more money. So your loss is not capped. Your profit is capped at $10. Okay. So profit, if the stock remains same or goes up, but it is capped at premiums. Okay. Loss when stock goes down, massive movement downwards. So summarizing it, covered call writing, how is it created? By writing a call option and by buying a stock. By writing a call option and by buying a stock. Profit happens if the stock price remains same or goes up, but profits are capped at premium amount. So maximum profit you can make is the premium that you collected. Loss happens when stock price goes down. Loss happens when stock price goes down. This was covered call writing.
Why do you do a covered call?
When you think that stock is going to stay same or go up to collect the premium. It is like renting your stock out. Okay. Next is covered call buying. Next is covered call buying. So I'll copy this, then we'll discuss it on Tesla again. So what do you do in covered call buying? We'll create this later on. In a covered call buying, you short the stock. So you go short on the stock and you buy a call option. You buy a call option. So let's do that. So Tesla stock was at 430. Okay, and call option premium was $10 for a 430 call. So what do? You short the stock. So whenever you short a stock, you get money. So 430 is the amount of money you receive at start. Okay, and you buy a call option. When you buy a call option, you pay money. So $10 you paid. So total outflow. So total outflow is 430 plus $10 that you get. 420 is the total cash outflow. Inflow, sorry. This is inflow because you're shorting the stock. So when you short a stock, you get money. So 420 is the total cash inflow. Shorting a stock is borrowing a stock, selling it and getting money with a guarantee to return that stock back. Okay. So let's say the stock stays same. Let's say the stock stays same. So 430. So if a stock stays same, call option doesn't pay. Call option pays when the stock price goes up. You're buying a call. So call option will pay you when the stock price goes up. If it is not going up, it doesn't pay anything. So your cash outflow, sorry, cash inflow is you have to buy the stock to return back. So this is the cash outflow. This was the cash inflow. So let's say we name it cash outflow. Because you have shorted the stock, so you have to buy the stock back and give it back. So cash outflow was 430, cash inflow was 420. So loss of minus 10. So I put it in bracket so that it shows loss. So this is the loss you suffer if stock remains same. Now let's see what happens if stock goes up. What happens if stock goes up? Let's say the stock goes to 450. Okay. Cash outflow will be, this option will be profitable now. So the profit from call option will be stock price minus strike price. $20 profit. So total cash outflow 430. Okay. Again, you will have a loss of 430 outflow, 420 inflow. So $10 loss. Now stock goes down. So let's say stock goes to 300. Okay. This call option expires worthless because call doesn't pay if the stock goes down. So what is your cash outflow? Cash outflow will be 300. Cash inflow was 420. So total profit you made was 120 profit. So when does this strategy pay? So buying a covered call buying. How to do it? Buy the stock, short the stock and buy the call option. So when does it pay? It only pays if the stock goes down. This is when you make profits. So profits are green. This is when you make loss. So covered call buying, profit if stock goes up, and loss if stock stays same or goes down. Stock stays same or goes, sorry, stock goes down. Profit when stock goes down. We made profit when it went actually down. So stock goes down, you make profit. And loss if stock stays same or goes up. But the good part is maximum loss is capped at $10. So even if it went to 450, you actually capped your losses to $10. So we'll write it down. Maximum loss capped at $10. Okay.
Just a quick question. So what
Yeah.
is the advantage of using a covered call strategy over just a call?
So what is benefit of writing a covered call? It is like renting out your stock. So if you have some stock, write call options on it if you don't think the stock is going to rise. For example, right? Let's say you're writing, if you have stocks of Intel is not doing that well, but you don't want to sell it because you see that a new CEO is coming or something good is going to happen. So you want to wait on that. So you will keep on writing Intel stocks call option so that you can keep on collecting rent from it so that your cost of ownership goes down. So that's the benefit of covered call writing. Covered call buying, what's the benefit? You'll buy covered calls if you want to, if you think that stock's going to go down because you make money when the stock goes down. But if the stock goes up, you want your losses to be capped. So maximum loss is capped at premium amount. So you cannot lose more than premium. So that's the benefit of buying a covered call. Okay. So let's say I'm not that bullish on Tesla. I think Tesla is overpriced and it's going to go down. I'll I'll do a covered call buying on that. So I'll short the stock and buy a call option. So if the stock goes up, my maximum loss will be premium paid, right? $10. But if it starts going down, I can make money. Okay. Next is protective put buying. So what is protective put? You have the stock, so stock position is already there and you want to protect it from falling. So how do you do that? You buy a put option. So how is it created? You own the stock and you want to protect it from falling. So you'll buy a put option. Profit will happen if stock price remains same. So remains same. You will not make, you'll not make much difference, right? Losses. So let's work it out because we have to change that. So let's again look at Tesla. So I have a stock of Tesla at 420. I want to protect it. So what will I do? I'll buy a put option. Okay. So let's say, what is the put traded at? 420 put. It is traded at $2. So I'll buy a put option at $2. So let's see what happens. So this is my strategy, protective put. Have the stock and buy a put option on it. So let's do that. So stock stays same. So if stock stays same, I paid $2 to buy the put. So that will be my loss, loss of premium. Okay. If stock goes down, I'll suffer losses on my stock portfolio. My Tesla goes down, I'll suffer losses there, right? but this put that I have bought will start making me money. So effectively, my max loss will be $2. Okay, my loss will be $2. I am capping my loss at $2. I cannot lose more than $2. $2 is the premium that I paid to create this position. Because if the stock starts to fall, I have two positions. One is in the stock, one is in the put. So if the stock starts to fall, I start making money in the put option, but I start losing money in the stock that I own. So effectively, my loss will be capped at $2. If stock goes up, the put option goes to 0. The put option that I have goes to 0. And I'll make money on stocks. Okay. So what is a protective put? Protective put is a strategy where profits happen when stock goes up. Loss is capped at $2 and happens at premium and happens if stock goes down. So when you do a protective put strategy, you don't lose money more than the premium paid. So effectively you protect your portfolio. If the portfolio goes up, you make money. If the portfolio starts falling, the maximum loss you suffer is premium. So it's like buying an insurance on a portfolio. Okay. And I'll upload this Excel sheet too. Now, protective put shorting. What is that? We'll again delete this. Protective put shorting. So I'll copy this and we'll discuss it with Tesla. So in protective put shorting, you write a put option and you go short on a stock. So position you're creating, you're shorting the stock. So let's say it's Tesla. So when you short any stock, you get money. So inflow. Inflow is, let's say $430 is the stock price. And you're also writing a call, writing a put. So writing a put also gives you money. So it was $2. So effectively your inflows are 430 plus 2, $432. Now, if the stock stays same, it is at 430. Okay, stock stays same. It is at 430. What will happen? You have shorted the stock. So you buy the stock. So profit and loss is 0 from here, but you pocket $2. So your total profit is $2. This is the profit that you make. If the stock goes up, so let's say the stock goes up to 450, what will happen? You have shorted the stock, so you will suffer losses. How much loss will you make? You will make loss of $20. So I'll put a negative sign where it's a loss. You have shorted the stock. So if stock goes up, you make loss. And you have also return a put. So writing a put, you have to pay when the stock falls. The stock is going up. So effectively you don't do anything. Okay. So total profit is this plus $2. So this will be the total loss that you make. So your loss is little bit less than shorting the stock, but you still make a loss. Okay. Now if stock goes down, so let's say the stock goes to 300, 400. This shorting the stock strategy will make you money. How much money? $20. Okay. You have written a put. So you lose money there. How much money will you lose? $20. So total profit from this strategy is again the premium amount, $2 that you kept. Okay. So effectively profit of $2 if stocks remain same, loss if stock goes up, and profit of $2 if stock goes down. So protective put shorting, that's why no one does it. How does it work? Profit of premium when stock, when was it making profit? When stock remained same and went down. When stock remained same and went down. Okay. When was it making loss? Loss is made when stock goes up. Loss is made when stock goes up. But we saw profit is capped at premium. So maximum profit you make is premium. So effectively, no one does this strategy because it doesn't make sense, and no one does covered call buying. Doesn't make sense. In real life, you generally do covered call writing because you have the stock, you rent it out and you collect a premium, right? So if you have some stock and the company is currently not in a good position, but you don't want to sell it because you can see a turnaround, right? Intel is an example. A lot of market share is being taken by companies like Qualcomm, Z-Link, and Huawei, and those chip manufacturing companies. So Intel is struggling, but Intel has a lot of investment in self-driving cars like Mobilink or Mobileye, some like a subsidiary is called as Mobileye, I guess. So it can get a lot of benefits from that, right? So I hold Intel right now, but I don't want to sell Intel, right? But it's not doing well. But I don't see any possibility of Intel going up in price. So what will I do? I'll keep on writing covered calls so that I can keep on collecting premiums. Same way, you can do a protective put. How can you do protective put? Let's say I've made a lot of money in Tesla. Tesla went up from $100 to $420, right? In last 1 year. So I made a lot of money in Tesla. I don't want to sell Tesla, but I'm afraid of Tesla going down. So then I can do a protective put buy. So if Tesla goes up, I get money from a portfolio, but if Tesla goes down, I collect money from put options. So these two strategies are mostly used. Covered call buying, covered call writing, and protective put buying. Okay. Next is bull call spread. So let me explain that. So what's a bull call spread? So bull call spread is created by buying a call with lower strike price and selling a call with higher strike price. When does it make money? It also has this chart. So I'll copy that too. So when does it make money? If the stock is in the range between two call options or goes beyond the range. Okay, so it goes up, it will make money. Profit is capped at difference between strike price. Loss happens if the stock price goes below the lower strike price. The loss is capped at difference between premium. Okay, so I'll explain that. So let's look at Tesla. We are doing a bull spread. So how do you do a bull spread? The stock is at 430. Okay. So you go to 430. So this is the last price, right? Last traded price. We'll see December options. The premiums will be a little bit higher. So 430, $25 is the premium. So we are creating a bull spread. So what do you do? Buy call with strike price 430. Okay. So you buy call, so you pay premium. So $25 is the premium paid. This option had a premium of 25 bucks. Okay. Now you sell call at strike price that is above this. So you sell call at strike price that is above the bought price. So let's say we sell a call of 450. We sell a call or 450. Okay, that was $17. The price of that is $17. So when you sell call, you get money. When you buy call, you pay money. So how much is effective money that you paid? You paid $8 to create this position. You paid $8 to create this position. You bought a call at 430. You sold a call at 450. So there are different possibilities. The first possibility is stock price on maturity is 400. Second possibility is stock price on maturity is in between those. So let's say 440. And stock price on maturity is above the stock, above 450. So let's say 480. So if stock is at 400, right, you will lose money because you have bought a call option, right? Call option benefits when the price goes up. So if stock price is going down, you lose money. How much money you will lose? $8. So this is the loss that you will suffer when stock price goes down. Stock price is at 440. So stock price is in between 450 and 430. So how much money do you make? You make money on this call option. You don't make anything on this call option. So how much money you make? So you make 440 minus 430, $10. Cost of setting up this position was 8. So effective profit from this strategy, $2. Okay. And if the stock goes above 480, like above 450, like at 480, what will happen? This call will be profitable. This call will be loss making. The call with 430 strike price will be profitable. Loss with call with 450 stock price will be loss making. So how much profit do you make? The actual profit you make is difference between strike prices. 430 minus 450 minus 430, 20 bucks. $8 to set it up. So total profit, $12. Okay. So bull call spread is created by buying a call with lower strike price. So lower strike price in our case was 430, and selling a call with higher strike price. In our case, that was 450. Profit if stocks are in the range. So 430, if the stock price is between 430 and 450, you make money, right? Or if it goes beyond the range. So if you will even make money if it goes above 450. Profit is capped at difference between strike prices. So maximum profit you can make is 20 bucks. Maximum profit from this strategy you can make is 20 bucks. Difference between strike prices 450 and 430. Okay. Loss happens if the stock price goes below the lower strike price. So if it goes below 430, you will make loss. So loss was below strike price. In our case, it was 430. Loss is capped at difference between premium. So in our case, it was 25 minus 17. This is the total loss that is capped. Okay. And profit is capped at difference between stock price. So 450 minus 430. So this is the summary. If stock price is less than 430, K1 is 430, right? You only lose difference between premiums. If stock price is between these two strike prices like 430 and 450, the payoff from it is ST minus K1, that is stock price minus the lower strike price. Okay, 430. And if stock goes above K2, the money that you make is difference between premiums. In this example, K1 is lower strike price, K2 is higher strike price, ST is current stock price, C1 is call premium for lower stock price, C2 is call premium for higher stock price. That's it. So these are the details, and that's the payoff where we were discussing bull's call spread. Okay. Next is bear spread. So when will you do bull call spread? When you think, I'll write it down, when to do it. When you think stock is going to rise, but within a limit. For example, bull call spread could be done on Tesla. If I think stock will go up, I think that Tesla will go up from 430, but it may not cross 500. I don't think it will cross 500 till 4th of December. So what will I do? I'll buy a call of 430, 25, and I'll sell a call of 500 at 6. So effectively, I'm creating a spread. I make money if stock price goes up, right? But my profits will start to get capped above 500. So good point. Bull call spread can be done when you think that stock price is going to rise, but within a limit. Okay. Bear spread. When do you do it? When you think stock will fall, but within a limit. It will not fall beyond that. Okay. How do you create a bull spread? You create a bull spread by buying a put with higher strike price and selling a put with lower strike price. Profit, when the stock falls in the range, you make money. Profit is capped at difference in strike price. So let's discuss that. So let's make a bear spread on Tesla. So this is Tesla. I think Tesla will go down. So what will I do? I'll create a bear spread. So how do you create a bear spread? Buy a put option of higher strike price. So buy put at 430. So when I buy put at 430, I have to pay $25. Okay. And sell put at lower strike price. So let's say I don't think Tesla will fall below 350. It will be within that. Sorry, higher price. This should be buy a put at higher strike price. Yeah, actually it's okay. So sell a put at, we are looking at calls. That's why it's what was going wrong. So this is 27. So buy a put at 420, 430. So that is $27 and sell a put at 300 or 350. So I think stock might go down, but it might not go down below 350. So 350 is $4, $5. Okay. So what is my cost to set it up? Cost to set it up is $22. Cost to set it up is $22. Now let's see what will be my profit at different prices. So stock prices between, so let's say above 430. So stock price is at 440. What will be my profit? What will be my loss? Okay. Stock price is at 400. So it goes down, but it doesn't go down below 350. And stock price is at 300. Okay. So stock price is at 440, which is, that is the stock has gone up. So I'll include one more column. Stock has gone up. So if a stock has gone up, what will be my profit or loss? So stock has gone up. So this put becomes 0. Okay. And I have sold a put. So I have to pay if stock goes down. So this also becomes 0. So my loss is the cost to set up, that is $22. So I lose money when the stock goes up. Now stock goes down, but it is within my range. So it is within my range of 350 to 430 to 350. So my profit will be 400, 430, my exercise price minus my stock price. So 430 is my exercise price, the call price, the put price, and 400 is the stock price. So $30 is my profit. Okay. From the position, $22 to set it up. So total profit from taking this, $30 profit from the position, $22 to set it up. So $8 of profit. What happens if it goes to 300? That is below my second put. So the profit that I will make is difference between the strike price. So 430 was the upper strike price. 350 was the lower strike price. So total profit I make is $80 from the position, $22 to set it up. So $58 is the total profit. So bear spread you do when you think that stock will go down, but it shouldn't go down below a certain limit. You think it will not fall, it will not be a free fall. How do you create it? By buying a put and selling a put. Buy a put with higher strike price, then sell a put with lower strike price. So you create a spread. Profit when the stock falls and between the range, or stock falls beyond the range. Loss if stock prices rise, but loss is capped at difference between premium, that is the cost to set it up. So if stock is below the strike price, right, payoff is difference between strike prices. Okay. If stock is between those two strike prices, payoff is the higher strike price minus the stock price. And if stock price is going up, then the loss that you suffer is difference between premiums.
So basically, you're expecting it to be in that range, and you're capping your profits in case it goes below or above that range. Right?
Exactly. Perfect. You're absolutely right. So if you think any stock, you could do that, right? If you think which is the stock that is really doing bad. So let's say oil and gas is doing bad. So Suncor. So Suncor has been doing bad. So Suncor is at $15. The minimum it has traded, like 52-week low, was $14. So you think Suncor will fall, but it may not fall beyond 14. So what do? You sell put option at $15.43, the current $15.20, the current strike price, and you buy a put option with 15.27 and you sell a put option at $14. So you think it will fall, but it will not go beyond. Okay. Next is box spread. So what do? You buy a bull spread and you buy a bear spread. So you combine both. So you buy a bear spread and you buy a bull spread. It's a combination strategy. Okay. K1. Cost to set up is the loss. Okay. So this is very interesting. So box spread, how do you set it up? You buy a bull spread. Profit in this strategy will always be difference between the strike prices. Okay. Irrespective of whether the stock goes up, goes down, or stays same. So let's do that. So we were looking at Tesla. So I'll go back to Tesla. So this is we'll look at December option change. Premiums are a little higher. Okay. So this is Tesla's option change. So how do you create spread? So you buy calls, two calls, and you buy two puts. Okay. So of the same strike price. So strike price should be same. So let's say the strike price that we are considering is 450 and 350 for these two options. So copy it here. Okay. So you buy one call, you sell one call, you buy one put, and you sell one put. This is how you set up a box spread. So keep it here. We'll discuss put later. Let's first discuss call. So what do? You buy a call of lower strike price first. So this should be 350. And you sell a call of higher strike price, 450. So buy a call of 350, sell a call of 450. So let's look at premiums. So 350 is premium, 350 call premium is 85 bucks. So you pay 85, so negative sign. And 450's premium is 17 bucks. So you sell that, so you get it. So cost to set this up, 68 bucks. Okay. Now in put also, you buy one put and you sell one put. So you sell 350 put because it is lower. Okay. And you buy 450 put because it is higher, closer. So reverse of this. So since you're buying a put option of 450, so let's look at put 450, 38 bucks. And you're selling put of 350, 5 bucks. Now this should be negative because it's a buy. Buy means you pay. So total cost to set it up is 100 bucks. Total cost to set it up is 101 bucks. Okay. And the profit from this strategy, irrespective of whether the stock goes up, goes down, or remains same, it's going to be difference between the strike price, 450 minus 350. So you'll get 100 bucks, right? Whether the stock stays same, goes up or goes down. Right now, this strategy is not profitable because to set it up, you have to pay 101 bucks to buy one call, sell one call, buy one put, sell one put. So you have to pay 101 bucks to do it, right? And the profit, irrespective of stock goes up, goes down, or remains same, is 100 bucks. So you will lose money right now, $1. But it may happen that this cost becomes 80 bucks sometimes. Options are traded and sometimes they're irrational. So keep a track on it. If it goes to 80, then you do the strategy right away. So you pay 80 and get back 100. So box strategy is not always profitable, but whenever it's an arbitrage thing, So keep on calculating what is cost to set a bull call spread, bear put spread, and then the difference, right? If this is lower than what you're going to make, the difference in the strike price, you get into the strategy. So box spread, it's basically an arbitrage strategy. Okay. How to set it up? Do a bull call spread, do a bear put spread, right? Profit will always be difference in the strike price. Loss will be cost to set it up. If there is difference between profit and loss and you're making money, then you do an arbitrage. That is, you do a box spread. Okay. Next is butterfly spread. So I'll copy this. Okay. So we are discussing about butterfly spreads using call options. So how to do a better butterfly spread? So buy a call option with K1 and K3 strike prices and sell two call options with strike price K2. So what does that mean? So you choose three strike prices, K1, K2 and K3. So let's say we are creating a butterfly spread using calls on Tesla. So let's say this is 400, this is 430, and this is 450. Okay, 400, 430, and 450. How is this? How this strategy is created? You buy a call option of K1, you buy a call option of K2, K3, and you sell two call options of K2. So buy K1, buy K3, and sell two K2. Okay. So this strategy is profitable when stock price goes above 400. This strategy is profitable when stock price is above 450. And this strategy will lose money if it's a call, you're selling a call. So it will lose money if it is above 430. So what happens? Butterfly spreads, you make money if the price remains close to 430. You will lose money when price moves beyond 450 or below 400. So what is this strategy? You're creating a wedge, right? 400 to 450 is the wedge. So if Tesla remains in this wedge, 400 to 450, you will make money, right? But if Tesla is below 400, you lose money. If Tesla is above 400, above 450, you lose money. So it's like creating a wedge. 400 to 450 is your wedge. You lose money if Tesla is below that. You lose money if Tesla is above that.
How do you lose money if it's below 400?
How do you lose money? Because all the premiums that you paid on this and this will be lost.
Okay, all right, that
Plus,
way, that
yeah.
way.
Plus, also you have sold a call,
But you have sold at 430.
but the premium paid. Let's calculate the total premium. Okay, so let's do that. 400. We are looking at call 43.7. Okay, 450, 16.58, and 450, Oh, this was 450, 430. We had to look at 430. Sorry. This was 26.58. Yeah, that's right. No, what am I doing? 430, it was 25.05. 25.05. And 450, it is 16.58. Okay, so what are you doing? You're buying, so this is negative. You're buying, so this is negative. You're writing, so this is positive. So what's the difference? This plus this minus, so this is the total payout. So $35 is the cost to set it up, right?
Shouldn't that be multiplied by 2?
Yeah, so you're right. This should be multiplied by 2. Okay, so $10 is the total cost to set up, right? If stock remains close to this price, 430, you don't lose money. You pocket that. You actually make money in this strategy, right? But if stock goes beyond below 400 or above 450, you lose money. Okay, how will you lose money? This will be lost. Okay, and this will be lost. So butterfly strategy, your hope, when do you execute this strategy? When you think stock will trade in the range of K1 to K2. Stock will trade in the range of K1 to K2. You will execute a butterfly spread. Now, same thing you can do with puts. So you can execute a butterfly spread with puts. So what is butterfly spread with puts? How do you create it? Buy two put options K1 and K3 and sell two put options at K2. So once again, K1, K2, K3. So same thing. So let's go a little deeper. 350, 400, 450. So what will you do? Buy a put at 350, sell two puts at 400 and buy a put at 450. Okay, buy a put at 350, sell two puts at 400, buy a put at 450. So buy two puts at K1 and K3 and sell two puts at K2. Profit if stock price remains close to K2. Loss, small loss when stock goes beyond 350 or beyond 450. Okay. So when will you do this strategy? Same thing. When you think stock will trade in the range of K1 and K2. Next one is straddle. And straddle is interesting because till now we are only dealing with either puts or either calls, right? In a straddle, you buy both a call and a put. So I'll copy this and I'll explain it with example of Tesla. So what's a straddle? How do you create a straddle? You create a straddle by buying a call with strike price gray and buying a put with strike price gray. So let's say 430 is the strike price. Okay. How do you create a straddle? You buy call and buy a put at same strike price, not a different strike price. So let's say 430 is the strike price that we're looking at. So 25 and 26. So 25, the cost of buying a call, and 26 is cost of buying a put. So total cost to set it up, $51, right? Now, when do you make money? Massive movements in stock, either up or down, right? When do you make a loss? If stock price remains near 430. So effectively, when do you do a straddle? When do you go long on a straddle? You go long on a straddle if massive movements, you don't know the direction where it will move, but you know massive movement is going to happen. For example, in this current election, there was a issue that was put forth in front of Americans, right? There was like cannabis legalization in more than 7 or 8 states, right? That was a issue in front of American voters. And now that issue could go in both ways. If American voters can reject legalization of cannabis, or they can accept legalization of cannabis. Now we don't know where that issue is going to go, but we know, right? If it is rejected, cannabis stocks are going to drop immensely. If it is accepted, cannabis stocks are going to jump up like crazy. So in that case, you do a straddle. You buy a call and a put at the current strike price. If massive movement happens in irrespective in whatever direction, you make money. For example, if you look at this stock, it's a cannabis stock. It has been legalized. So in last 5 days, if you see, this has jumped, it has doubled. So it has gone from $5 to $12. That is the legalization of cannabis, right? So massive means it has gone up more than 100%. But if it was not legalized, it would have gone down by 100%. So you don't know which direction it is going to go. That's when you do a straddle. Okay. Now you can do a short straddle. I don't suggest you ever do this. So before that, we'll write down. When do you do your straddle? Mostly on some news that is expected, but the positive or negative impact is not known. One more way to use straddle, that means I work with a hedge fund out here. We have been doing it for a while now. So there are a lot of candidates in that are trying to find out the solution, like the virus candidates, the vaccine candidates, right? So Moderna is there, Johnson and Johnson is there. So they have their trial date set. So this is when the trial is going to happen. This is when the result is going to come out. Now you don't know the result. It could be positive, the trials are going good, or it could be negative. So in that case, you do a straddle. If it is positive, the stock jumps up massively. If it is negative, the stock jumps down massively. So movement should be massive to make money from straddle. The movement, like this stock has gone almost double in last, from Monday. Since in last 1 week, since last Wednesday, it has almost doubled. Now, what is a short straddle? You generally do this strategy when you think no massive movement is going to happen. So certain stocks like Coke, right? They don't move much. So in that case, you can do a straddle. So what's a straddle? You sell a call option and you sell a put option at the same strike price. So instead of buying this, so this was a long straddle. In a short straddle, you sell. So instead of buy, you will say sell a call and sell a put. So when you sell, you generally pocket the premium. So inflow of $51. Inflow of $51. Okay. Profit happens if stock price remains the same, right? Small profit, that is premiums from call as well as premiums from put. Loss happens, massive loss, if there is a big stock movement. So if Tesla, never do it straddles on Tesla. Tesla moves up or down like it has a lot of volatility. But so if that volatility is there, if the stock moves up or down massively, you lose a lot of money. So that's a short straddle. Okay. Now strangles are little different. Straddle is the same strike price. In strangles, you create a spread. In strangles, you create a spread. Okay, I'll tell you how to do it. So we are looking at Tesla. How to create a straddle. How to create a. So I'll copy that and then we'll discuss it. Okay. So we are creating a long straddle. So how do you do a long straddle? Buy a call option with strike price K1 and buy a put option with strike price K2. Okay. When does it make money? Massive movement in strike price up or down beyond K1 and K2. Loss if the stock remains within K1 and K2. Okay, so let's do that. So we think Tesla is at 430 right now. We think at the end of the month, because of, let's say, Berlin factory, whether it's successful or not, the stock can be below 400 or above 450. So how will we do a strangle? We'll buy a put at 400 and we'll buy a call at 450. When will we make money? If stock goes below 400 or if stock goes above 450, we'll make money. Okay, when will we lose money? If stock remains in this range, 450 to 400 to 450. So if stock goes below 400, we make money. If stock goes above 450, we make money. If the stock is in range 400 to 450, we lose money. That's a strangle. Now, what is the difference between creating a strangle and creating a straddle? Straddle and strangles are same. In strangle, you buy call and buy put of the same strike price. In strangle, you create a little bit of a margin, right? So the benefit of strangle is it is less costly than straddle. It is less costly than a straddle. Okay. Next is creating a strip. How do you create a strip? You create a strip using one call and two puts. So how do you create it? Buy one call and buy two puts. Buy one call and buy two puts. When do you make money? Large movements in any direction, but you're thinking that the chance of stock going down is much higher than stock rising. Okay. Loss if stock remains same. So I'll explain it by copying it. So strip is You buy one call and two puts. When do you do that? When you think movement will be large, but the probability of stock falling is more. Movement will be large, but probability that the stock will fall is more. Okay. How do you do it? You buy one call and you buy two puts. So let's say you buy a call of 450, Tesla at 450, and you buy two puts, maybe of same strike price or different. So let's say 430 and 420. So this is a strip. You think the movement will be large, but the probability of it going down is much higher. So same way, you could have done a strip with ACB. So this stock, you thought like probability of that law not passing was more. So you could do a strip strategy. You could buy one call and two puts. Same way, a strap is when you buy two calls and one put. So buy two calls and buy one put. When do you make money? Profit happens when there is large movement in both direction. Loss happens if stock remains same. Okay.
So why is it 2 and 1? Is there any particular reason?
Yeah, because the probability that, why are you doing two? Because you think the probability of rise or fall is more. If you think probability of rise is more, you'll go two calls, one put, right? If you think probability of fall is more, you'll go two puts, one call. So you make money in even if it doesn't happen, but you're putting your probabilities in play. Okay. Last is a calendar. Last two things are calendar options. So long calendar spread with calls and long calendar spread with puts. So what's a long calendar spread? So long calendar spread is you buy longer maturity call and you shorter maturity call. So example, if you look at Tesla, so we are looking at, let's say, November options. November 6 is too close. So November 13. So you'll choose the same strike price. So 430 is what we were discussing. So you will go short, right? So you will go short on shorter maturity call. So November call, you will short at 11 bucks. So you'll get paid for that. And December call, you go long at the same strike price. Again at 430, you go long. So $25 you pay. Okay. When do you make profit? Profit happens when stock price remains same. Profit happens when stock price remains same. Loss happens when there are large movements. Loss will happen when there are large movements. Now, calendar spreads we'll discuss more when we discuss option Greeks, because calendar spreads are profitable because of a concept called as option Greek. So time doesn't impact options like in the same way. Options that have longer maturity have more time in them. like options which have shorter maturity have less time in them. So we'll again do this strategy when we are doing option Greeks. But right now you have to remember what is a long calendar spread with calls. You buy longer maturity call, so December call, and you go short on shorter maturity call, November call. When do you make money? When the price movements are small. When do you lose money? When price movements are large. And the last strategy, calendar means long calendar spreads with put. Same thing, you buy longer maturity puts. So this is what you will. So we'll first go to December, okay, and you will buy 430 December put at 25 bucks, and then you will short 430 November put. So you buy long maturity put and sell short maturity put. Profit happens when the movements are small. Loss happens when there are large movements. So this was chapter 11. Sorry, something went wrong with the meeting. So those are all the strategies. I'll share my screen again.